Mad God is a 2021 stop-motion surreal horror film created by stop-motion legend Phil Tippett. Made largely in his spare time on weekends over the course of nearly 30 years, Mad God is a visually striking depiction of a world built to, in every way possible, maximize suffering. There's no dialogue and very little narrative in Mad God. The movie largely consists of a showcase of a series of bizarre locations and creatures, with the vague through-line of following a character known as the Assassin on its mysterious mission. In video essay tradition, I'll start with a plot summary. We open with the Assassin holding a briefcase and descending in a diving bell. He passes numerous surreal scenes, a fortress atop a cave of statues, below that dinosaur fossils, and eventually, he lands and steps out onto a street intersection. The world Mad God presents us with mixes the mundane with the utterly impossible. There are cities next to great chambers of giants above an enormous factory. The construction of the place defies reason by design, and not even a map can help make sense of it. The Assassin begins to get on the move as it watches a she-monster viciously cleave apart another creature. After some time, the Assassin reaches a long corridor full of huge humanoids sitting upon electric chairs. They're shocked and empty their bowels seemingly endlessly, and in a truly nauseating scene, we get to see the purpose of all this. The Assassin steps onto an elevator and watches as the excrement is fed into a gaping cyborg mouth, and then through pulsating sacs covered in eyes. Eventually, the elevator bottoms out, and we see what this has been building to: a machine that creates life. This begins one of the most striking sequences in the film. The Assassin observes these creatures march out of the machine and into a massive factory in which they toil meaninglessly and are then unceremoniously killed off, sometimes by overseer creatures way too grotesque to put on YouTube, and sometimes just by each other. They don't seem to be mindless. One knocks over a series of huge tiles to crush another, and this sequence goes on for nearly 15 minutes. As the Assassin leaves, one of the workers approaches it. It seems to regard the Assassin, and there's a clear feeling that it wants to escape, but it's quickly spotted and stomped to death by an overseer creature. The Assassin moves on. The Assassin is stalked by an unseen creature upon entering a sewer. He comes across a mountain of briefcases just like the one that he carries himself. The implications of the moment are immediate. The Assassin is not the first to attempt this mission, nor even the 1000th. Opening its briefcase, it's revealed that it contains a bomb. His mission is to finally put an end to this place's misery, but he's doomed to fail as well. He arms the time bomb before suddenly being attacked and dragged away by a cybernetic spider creature. The timer ticks to 0, but the bomb never goes off. Next, we see the Assassin strapped down to a surgery table and stripped of his clothes. Cutting an incision down his entire torso, a surgeon starts to pull out his organs. Too many organs. They form a squelching pile on the ground. Next, he reaches deeper, and with Jaws' jewelry and gold, dozens of pieces and coins litter the bloody tiles in a surreal montage, and just when it seems like this might go on forever, the surgeon starts to extract books. A veritable library is torn out of the Assassin's body, before at last, after taking everything that makes a man, his body, possessions, and knowledge, the surgeon holds up a worm that screams like an infant. In a universe as wretched as this one, maybe this is what the core of a person really looks like. Maybe this is a soul. The worm is brought to a floating being wearing a plague doctor mask. The remainder of the movie follows this plague doctor as it carries the baby to an alchemist's lair. In the final sequences of the film, the worm baby is crushed into goop and alchemically transformed into a shimmering gold powder. The plague doctor flings the powder into a forge, and we see the birth of a universe. We see the Big Bang, formation of planets in a solar system, and then a monolith that impacts and creates a wound on a planet. This is the origin of life in Mad God. There are microbes, then animals, then people. There's society, and eventually cities, before it all falls apart and the world becomes like what we see in the film. We cut back to outer space, more monoliths. And then we see what I'll claim is the titular Mad God in its only on-screen appearance, the maw of a black hole, the source of the monoliths. Clocks spin wildly and candles burn out, dust covers everything, then it reverses and the Assassin's bomb finally goes off. So, what was that? I'll claim that if there's one coherent theme in this movie, it's of endless and escapable cycles. There have been thousands of assassins to fail their mission in the exact same place, and there are thousands still to come. The shitmen are made to die and work uselessly. What we saw was the recreation of the universe, an attempt to rescue it from its wretched state that's ultimately hopeless. In the universe created by The Alchemist, the humans do get further, all the way to modern cities, but in a shot reminiscent of the Tower of Babel from the intro, they also draw the ire of the Mad God. Oh, how I'd love to talk about this more, but I must move on. It's time for our cosmic horror themed lightning round. Fear of the unknown. The world of Mad God runs on dream logic. Much of the tension in the movie comes from not knowing what surreal nightmare will come next. Challenging humanity's primacy. Mankind is dead. The last man, that's his name, is the one sending down the assassins. Horrific self-discovery. This one's kinda weak, but that moment shared by the assassin and the shitman really stuck out to me. They're not so different, both only exist to serve their purpose and be killed off, be it by stomping, explosion, or surgery, and I think the assassin kinda recognizes this fact about himself. Madness. It's impossible not to be mad in this place. I think the fundamental premise of the movie is essentially, what if God went mad? The only thing that really exists in this world is just delirious violence. And the keen observer. Much of the movie just consists of the assassin watching events occur. I mean, I think this is pretty much the definition of the keen observer. So I think the question on everyone's mind right now is this movie any good? It's definitely really weird. So here's my thoughts on that. I think Mad God is a pretty solid movie if you're not worried about the fact that there's no story. It's visually very, very impressive. Phil Tippett is just a master of his craft. The stop motion is incredible to watch throughout the entire film. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of substance to back up the style. Phil Tippett himself says that he would have dreams and those would just become scenes in the movie, largely unchanged. The plot is almost non-existent, and as I said, there's no dialogue. Overall, I'd give this movie a 6.5 out of 10, which puts it clearly ahead of something like Color Out of Space, but definitely behind The Mist. Thank you for watching!